Hey, I'm Andy Chanley from 88.5 FM, and this is another one of our Here at Home teleconference interviews. And today we're lucky to have LP joining us. Welcome in, LP.
What's up, Andy? How's it going, man?
Doing really well. The new single, the one that you love, you've been hearing extensively on 88.5 FM these days. Is that a standalone single, or is there a as yet unannounced album on the way?
There's an album on the way, and there's a new single on the way as well called "How Low Can You Go." It's coming out.
Nice. Is the ballpark of when we'll have the full LP?
The full LP. Probably, in light of everything that's going on, it would have been sooner, but probably like April.
All right. So something to look forward to in the new year. And you're playing the City National Grove of Anaheim on Saturday, November 14th. 2 shows. Tickets available now at 885fm.org and axs.com. It's a benefit for 88.5 FM. I wanted to thank you for doing that for us and helping keep public radio thriving here in Southern California. Mm-hmm. By the way, I went to the Dawes concert a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize how much I had missed it until I heard
concerts.
I know. Until I heard a crack of a snare drum in the open air outside. I'm like, I've really been thirsty for this for a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, when we get back to it, it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, everybody's going to be hungry for it.
Yeah.
So the song, the one that you love, oh my goodness, it's like a whole Ennio Morricone spaghetti western romance fit into 3.5 minutes.
And you got it. Cool.
And the video kind of speaks about it as well. Where'd the inspiration for that come from?
We were writing down in Mexico, and I had just kind of gone on an extensive tour of South America and Mexico. I had wrapped it up with 3 big shows in Mexico City, and it was just so beautiful and inspiring. And then we went down to this hotel in Cabo San Juan, and it was we were out at dinner, and a gentleman was playing some ranchero music, and I don't know, it's just it was like being on vacation with the person you love, where you're just intoxicated by everything that's around, and we went back to the room, and I don't know, that first line just popped out, the now that you got what you wanted, and it just went from there, and it was super fun. I don't think most of the time I would collect, things I'm going to write about, and I have it already, like titles and stuff like that. But sometimes I just get into a mood, and then a whole thing I was thinking about just flies out. So that was this kind of song, and it just felt like the mood and the surroundings took it where it wanted to go.
When something comes like that to you, you're out having drinks with people, or you just wake up and something's in your head. What's the mechanism for remembering that? Do you get out your iPhone and do a little?
Yeah, usually. I mean, I'm a hopeless case. Too many times I've been I'm going to remember that. And then just it's done. If anything, I have to record everything. In fact, even when, I don't as soon as I step foot in a session, I just hit record, because I've spent so many times, in the beginning, kind of searching for some melody that I did that everyone was like, what was that first thing you did? So it's learn that lesson the hard way. So.
Yeah. So this is the first time I'm talking to you. So forgive the basic question, but walk me through the beginnings of your career. So are you 17 years old and on stage in New York, and David Lowery of Cracker sees you and says, you got to be on our next album? Was it that simple?
It was more of an inside thing, people just talking to other people. And then I co-wrote a song with them, and then he produced that first record. And it was a beautiful experience. And, and then I just kept going with, I don't think I'd found my music, even now people always be like, oh, there, it's what genre is it? It's hard to explain because I don't really, Americana was not really my thing. It's not really my thing. There's a lot of other elements and things that, and there wasn't, when you're trying to like snake your way through the business and get a foothold, on a major or whatever, often it has to be a very specific thing for people to like latch on. And I don't even mean fans. I mean like business people, you know? So, so that was difficult. And then I spent a long time as a songwriter, not even a long time. I mean, I'm always a songwriter, but I spent 2 years like just thinking I was only going to be a songwriter. And that's, I think,
and you thrived at it. Songs for
yeah.
Cher and Christina Aguilera. I mean, so many different people.
Yeah. I mean, the Rihanna single was the big, the thing. And that like kind of kicked it off, right? Like that was actually the, that's when it like peaked. And right at that moment, of course, I'd worked, to get to that moment. Then right at that moment, my artist career, in a great way, but my artist career kind of like took off again. And I was only writing for myself, but yeah, writing for other people infused its energy into my own writing. And then, yeah, it became, more diverse, I think, and all that got added in. And now it's like the multi-genre is the genre in a way.
Right. Well, it's interesting. You say it took you a while to come to solidify in your mind, how to quantify what it is you did and what you wanted to do. Yet you signed with Island Def Jam, right? And there comes a point where they wanted you to do one thing, and you're like, "No, I don't want to do that." You seemed to have a pretty solid idea fairly early on of where you wanted to head the ship.
Well, I really didn't actually. I wrote like 150 songs in the years from 2006 to 2009, and I was rudderless, really. I was just writing. I was just meeting all these big songwriters and learning a lot. And at the end of this like 3-year period, I had like 140 something songs, and then one of them got picked up by the Backstreet Boys, and that launched a writing career. So then 2009 to like kind of end of 2010, I was writing only for other people. But then I started to I was playing the ukulele for fun, and I just started writing all these songs for myself, which became like Into the Wild and Tokyo Sunrise and Forever for Now, which is the title track of my next record. I've had literally like 7 deals in the States. I've had like 4 majors and 3 indies. So it's been a journey in a good way. Like I think I learned a lot, and I also I definitely know what I don't want.
Yeah. Right.
As a
Yeah. Usually I don't like to timestamp these interviews for people and let them know when they happen, but this is kind of an interesting time. I know you're probably feeling as I am. As we're speaking, we still don't know who the president of the United States is going to be. Election was yesterday, and votes are being counted right now.
Well, I think somebody thinks they won, though.
So yeah, somebody has an idea. I'm not really sure what my question is here. Maybe I'll know by the time I'm done talking. But I think back to another time when things were less divisive, like in the when I was a teenager in the 80s, the Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, would disagree vehemently with Ronald Reagan, but yet Friday night, at the end of the work week at 6 o'clock, they get together in the White House and have scotch together. It was a different time when people could separate; they could have some civility. And I'm just kind of wondering, actually, I have admiration for you because it seems like you've been able to do that. I don't know a lot about your personal politics, but I believe I read your dad was involved in conservative politics a little bit, and you've collaborated with Morrissey, who chafes some people with his politics and so forth. Yet you're a city dweller, living in New York and Hollywood, and you're an icon among the LGBTQ community that tends to skew more liberal. It certainly feels like you've done a great job separating art from politics? Was that a question? I think that was almost a question.
Yes. I'm trying to always like be on the side of just art, like and kind of like separating it, my humanity, because I feel like there's so much about people I don't know, like all different people. There's so many reasons, and I accept this like very broad sketch and broad swipe of diversity, in for me. I feel like people, we're constantly like trying to divide ourselves into, you know, pitting ourselves against each other, and I just I don't know. I try to I feel like art is meant to be the great unifier, in so many ways, and I try to stick to that. I'm not, like you said, I don't I do disagree with several people's politics that I have, known and written with or done, things with, but I feel like, by giving that person like my attention, I'm kind of trying to relate to them always, and I go to countries where I know that people don't like, what I get up to, but like, if you were gonna like walk up to everybody in the street and get a cyborg side view of like all the shit that they've done in their life and their thoughts and their dirty deeds, so to speak, I don't know who you would, sidle up next to. It's a difficult one, and the judgment, I have a song about this. The judgment is not on this plane yet, so it's not my place. So I don't know. I'm trying to understand where everybody is at all times.
You mentioned traveling around the world, and there are a lot of people around the world. You didn't campaign for this job, and you weren't elected to it, but you have become an icon to people around the world. I mean, fans just for your music, but also people who believe that they can live their best life from a sexual and a gender perspective as well, because of your example. But speak to how that makes you feel. That has to feel like a lot of responsibility, but also maybe a good deal of pride.
It makes me feel good, I don't know about pride, but I just feel good. I feel like everybody deserves the dignity to express themselves how they want and to not be shut down. I mean, our world, just like what's going on right now, this is the death rattle of the people that created this particular paradigm, and they don't like it, and that's okay, but because they don't have to go away, they just have to share. It's like it's a sharing system, and it's going to keep going like this until there is equality, and it's going to be a long time. I think this is not like overnight shit, but I feel very happy that people can see alternatives. We are an imitating species. We imitate, and it's nice to have different things to imitate, or for people to like grab onto, to go like, oh, this person puts me at ease because I feel that in myself, and I want to like walk the earth like that, and if I could be that to a couple of people, I'm down. And I don't, it's nobody's business who I love, who I fuck, who I do whatever with, and I'm sorry if you can't say fuck on here, because if you haven't heard fuck yet, people, walk outside, for fuck's sake.
Go have a drink.
I'm into like, let's all get along, as they say, and it's a simple yet profound notion.
Yeah. Hey, tell me about your first guitar. Was a guitar your first instrument?
Yes.
Tell me about the first one.
The first one, funny enough, I think the first one was like Martin that my dad lent me money to get, and it's with like a old bandmate of mine that I haven't spoken to in a bit, but yeah, that, and now I'm like an ambassador for Martin, and I pretty much only played Martins. I do have a nice 56 Gibson. Don't tell anybody, but and then I just started playing this really nice nylon string 1953 Martin. So I'm a Martin person, but I love the ukulele. The ukulele, after taking a battering in this business, I was on probably I'd gone through like 2 brutal major label deals and a couple of indies and was, embarking on that writing time that I was telling you about. I started playing the ukulele and it just like opened this like, little door in my heart again to like just the simplicity and the beauty of just, a song. Like, I was whistling. That was another thing. It brought the whistling to the table because I always whistled, but then for a while I was just playing ukulele. I used to call them these little bedroom ditties, and so I was doing that, and then I made 2 quirky, weird things like whistling and ukulele, like my like my main things in the beginning, which was funny. I was never like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be that dyke who whistles and plays. That wasn't in the like blueprint. That's like that's what I should do.
It's hard to fit all that on the front of the album.
But I did those 2 things, and I still do those 2 things with, no apologies, and but I play all these, weird little, instruments, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. What do you think you'd be doing right now if it weren't for music? If music weren't a thing, what would you be?
I think I'd be probably and not because I think I know anything, but like, I've been to plenty that don't know anything, but I think I might be a therapist, like a doctor, like a psychiatrist or a psychologist or something like that. Cause it's like, it appeals to my, my need to like understand what people are thinking, and that's where songwriting happened. So I think I'd probably do that just cause I really enjoy, dissecting what goes on in the human brain and heart, and I'm always like, kind of got like my own magnifying glass on what drives me in all the ways, mostly romantic because that's exciting stuff,
I think some of your fans would tell you that you're already a therapist for them and the things that you do.
There you go. Yeah, sorry.
Last question. What's the best meal that you've prepared personally during the lockdown from the pandemic?
Well, I bought a grill, which that's my first grill I've ever bought because, New York City, the best you could do is like a fucking hibachi on the fire. But I never did that because it's always like kind of like, you're flipping one like veggie burger and one veggie burger you're killing some poor bastard on the street. But I never, but I got a grill here like this in this quarantine, and I cooked I don't eat meat or like cow dairy or anything like that, but I do eat seafood. So I grilled some shrimp and it was fucking amazing. So good.
Nice. My wife is vegetarian. She's got me on these Beyond Burgers.
Oh yeah, man, they're good.
Man, if you would have told me, I would have thought you were full of it. There's no way I thought.
So healthy, so they say, but I don't give a shit.
They're so good.
So good. And they're also like they're making Impossible burgers like a little bit more like Beyond's now, and I like them both. And but yeah, I'm like I'm with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Thank you again for doing the benefit for us. Once again, the details on that. You want to see LP play, you should go see her live down at City National Grove of Anaheim, the Drive-In OC. Tickets, and you go in, by the way, and you park and you get an empty space next to your car so you can spread out with people that you quarantine with. Don't have to touch anybody else. Get on your phone. They'll bring you stuff, bring you merch.
Well, that's going to be hard for people to give up. That I've heard about that feature where they bring you stuff.
You remember, like, for 5 minutes, the movie theaters, like 15 years ago, it had the thing where they do, they bring stuff to your seat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bring that back. I'm all about that. So now that we're doing this is pretty great.
I'm nervous to do the show, but I feel like you got to. I mean, it's going to be one of those, hey, remember when we did drive-in shows for a second? I do.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Get your ticket at 885fm.org or axs.com. Another Nederlander concert. And
radio.
Go buy this record, the one that you love. You'll hear it quite a bit on 88.5 FM as well, and look for the new album coming in April. Had a hoot talking to you today. LP, thanks for joining us here on 88.5 FM.
Pleasure. I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for playing my stuff.
All right, be good.